Imagine a single island, rainy, small, isolated, rising to dominate a quarter of the entire world. A power so vast that the sun literally never set on its lands. But how did Britain rise from a struggling kingdom to a global titan? And how did that empire, despite all its wealth, fleets, and armies, collapse almost overnight? Stay with me until the end, because the final reason for the empire's downfall is something most people have never heard before. Welcome to Echoes of History Plus, where the past is never dead, it only waits to be discovered. In the 1500s, Britain was far from powerful. It was poor, unstable, and overshadowed by Spain, a global superpower at the time. But Queen Elizabeth I changed everything. She sent explorers, merchants, and even pirates disguised as privateers, men like Francis Drake, to attack Spanish ships and steal their gold. These stolen fortunes funded Britain's dream, a new empire across the sea. Slowly, British ships reached the Americas, Africa, India, and the Middle East. What began as trade soon grew into conquest. By the 1700s and 1800s, Britain became unstoppable. Factories roared during the Industrial Revolution. The Royal Navy ruled every ocean. British flags rose over India, Egypt, Sudan, Australia, Hong Kong, South Africa, Canada, and many more. To the world, Britain appeared like a giant of reason and progress: railways, science, medicine, law. But behind the illusion lay a darker truth. Millions lived under heavy taxation, harsh rule, and cultural suppression. Where Britain saw civilization, others saw occupation. Rebellions erupted across the empire. In India, in Africa, in the Middle East, in the Caribbean. Meanwhile, in the industrial cities of Britain itself, poverty exploded. Thousands lived in filthy streets, polluted air, brutal labor conditions, and dangerous, overcrowded housing. The empire looked strong from the outside, but inside, cracks were spreading. Then came the first blow, World War I. Britain won, but at a devastating cost. Millions dead, the economy shattered, and rebellious colonies growing stronger. But the real collapse began in 1939, when Britain declared war on Nazi Germany. Battles across Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and Asia drained the empire completely. When the war finally ended, Britain was victorious. But victory came with a price. The empire was bankrupt. The world had changed. Freedom movements spread everywhere. People no longer feared the British Empire. They challenged it. India won its independence. Then Pakistan. Then dozens of nations in Africa and the Middle East. One after another, British colonies broke free. By the late 20th century, the empire that once covered the world had faded into history. All that remained was the United Kingdom, still proud, still influential, but no longer an empire. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might reveal a mystery even darker and even older. Join us on the next journey through time, here on Echoes of History.